Hello there. Welcome to the Africa Rights Talk podcast, a Center for Human Rights podcast series exploring a range of human rights issues through conversations with academics, practitioners, and activists. I am your host, Victoria Amechi. Let's dive in. Welcome to the 13th episode of the 6th season of Africa Rights Talk, and I'm here with our guests of honor is Ms. Isabella Tabares from Footprints of Uganda, and we're going to have an engaging discussion with her. And I hope you guys have a wonderful listening to this conversations we're about to have. I want to go to Ms. Isabella. First question I would like to ask is basically just to introduce yourself to the audience and the nature of work that you do regarding Footprints of Uganda.
Absolutely. My name is Isabella Tabares, and I am the founder of Footprints of Uganda, a nonprofit organization dedicated to improving the lives of rural communities in Uganda. Our mission is to create sustainable change by focusing on 3 key areas: access to clean water, education, and community development. The idea of Footprints of Uganda came from a personal experience in Uganda, where I spent 4 months with local children and families. During that time, I saw firsthand the challenges these communities face daily: lack of access to clean water, educational resources, and basic necessities. What struck me the most was the resilience and spirit despite their struggles. That inspired me to create the organization that could address these issues in a meaningful way. Since then, I've been working on initiatives like building a well to provide safe, clean water, creating youth programs like the local soccer team, and organizing events that bring the community together. For instance, during our holiday party last year, we hosted a celebration and fed 150 kids. Seeing their joy and gratitude on their faces reaffirmed why this work is so important. Footprints of Uganda is about leaving a lasting impact, one that powers these communities to build a better future for themselves and the next generation.
Thank you for that really succinct and also kind of like humble introduction to the big work that you do. And we're gonna head to the next question, which is, I was able to go through your website and see the kind of things you're passionate about and the kind of work that Footprints of Uganda do. And I came across the information that you started this at a very young age. And my question would be, could you share more about how your early volunteer experiences shaped your vision for Footprints of Uganda and led you to focus specifically on rural communities?
Of course. My journey with service really began when I was around 14 years old. I started volunteering in different settings, like animal shelters, nursing homes, and hospitals. Each experience taught me something unique about compassion and the power of giving back. Whether it was caring for animals, spending time with elderly, or supporting hospital staff, I learned that every small act of kindness can make a difference in someone's life. That mindset stayed with me as I grew older and eventually led me to Uganda. Spending 4 months there was life-changing. I worked closely with children and families in rural villages and was struck by the daily challenges they faced. One moment that stands out to me the most was during the holiday party that we organized for a local village. We provided food and gifts for 150 kids. And as I was putting on shoes on these kids, I noticed how desperate they were to get to me, to make sure they got a pair of shoes. That moment brought me to tears as well. It was a powerful reminder of how much these communities need support and how something we might consider small can mean the world to someone else. That experience was a turning point for me. It gave me the clarity and purpose to create Footprints of Uganda. I knew I wanted to focus on rural villages because that's where the need was the greatest. My early volunteer experience taught me the value of service, and my time in Uganda showed me where my efforts could have the most impact. That combination is what shaped the vision of Footprints of Uganda and continues to drive everything we do.
Great. 150 kids is a lot to be able to cater to. at that particular time. And I also think that the age of 14 is it's quite a young age to be that conscious about these issues. And I'm really fascinated by that revelation. So I think when we first met, or when we first spoke about this collaboration, you had told me that you had spent 4 months in Uganda volunteering. We want to know what that experience was like what impactful moments and experiences inspired you or inspired your stay in Uganda for that long.
I spent 4 months in Uganda last year, and that was a life-changing experience. It was beyond of what I thought it could have been. Like I always wanted to go to somewhere in Africa and volunteer. But I never thought it would, change my life as it did, immersing myself in the culture and living alongside the community gave me a profound understanding of their daily struggles and resilience. One of the most impactful moments was witnessing the long journey that families, take to fetch water. One here, I just have to open a faucet and that's it. So that really impacted me. And, that was clear that was something I really wanted to focus on because it compromises health, education, livelihoods. The kids are the ones that usually fetch water. So sometimes that makes them late to school. Sometimes because the water is so far away, they end up not going to school. And I want to focus on the education of the children. But for that, I have to solve other things like, having a well in this village and whatnot. So I just see that there's an urgency in this. And, I want to build a sustainable lifestyle for this one village.
Thank you for that feedback. I really do understand being in Africa, these rural areas, they're really having difficulties accessing basic things that would take for granted in the city life. And I really appreciate that information, that comment. And you talked about access to clean water as a major concern in that part of Uganda that you stayed in and volunteered in. People having to take long walks to fetch water, compromising their health, education, livelihoods. And what have you done so far? What has the organization done so far in addressing these issues? What is the progress within a well project? Yes.
Yeah, access to clean water, is one of our main programs. We have other programs, but we really want to build the well, and it's very important to us. We aim to reduce the time and effort spent into fetching water and improving the overall health of the community. Thanks to the donor support. We've made progress, but we still have a long way to go. Every dollar raised brings us closer, to providing safe and accessible water for families, ultimately providing health outcome and freeing time up for education, especially for the kids. Again, I focus a lot on the kids because they're the future. And, right now we're still saving money to be able to build the well. Hopefully we will build it in 2025. But while we're still, waiting for donations to come in, we have other projects on the side that we're working on. But yes, we're still working towards the well and waiting for the right time to build the well.
Okay, I see. In addition to your access to clean water project or the building a well project, you said education has been a main focus of, especially for girls and women and children in that area. What have you noticed? What have you experienced? What have you observed so far as being the barriers to this project and to this access to education? And how does Footprint organize around addressing those challenges, those barriers?
Yeah, in rural Uganda, I'll focus maybe on let's say for girls, the girls' education. Girls often face barriers like early marriage, culture expectations, and a lack of resource, which hinders their education. So at Footprints, we prioritize making sure these kids are kept in school, especially the girls, giving them school supplies, the sponsorship program, and we want to empower girls. We want to empower families by fostering an environment where education is valued. We hope to break the cycles of poverty. If we could just help one village at a time, and just obviously, I don't think I can help all of Uganda, but we just focus in this one village and create opportunity for future generations. That's already, that's already what our biggest goal. And we've had barriers, but we have a great team over there. We have our director of operations, our secretary that go every month, and we just try to work as much as we can with the community and make sure the kids are going to school. And if we can find them sponsors, we check their report cards to make sure that their grades are going up. Next year, we have this plan to have English classes on Saturdays, so their English is better for when they go to school. So there's barriers, but I think we're working through them, and whatever we can do to help, we will do it.
Thank you. I see. Like you said, you can't really take care of the whole of Uganda. It's steps by step. You mentioned earlier in the introduction, that you aim or you strive to create sustainable solutions to issues such as poverty, health, social challenges, education, water in those rural communities. So my question is that do you have some examples of those impacts, long-term impacts you think the organization can achieve or create in those communities, or they have achieved already in those communities, and are those solutions sustainable so far?
Yeah, our approach is rooted in sustainability. Obviously, I already spoke about the WELL program, but our sponsorship program is another big one that I think will be it would be long-term, because we make sure the kids are, obviously we need donors to sponsor kids, but once these kids are in school, we make sure they're going to a good school. We make sure that they're getting fed at noon. We make sure that we check the report cards, and the kids, they have rules where they have to go to school a certain percentage of the time, like 80-90% of the year. And we're just trying to kind of instill values in them that, will make them succeed in the future. We also, I think I mentioned this before, but we make sure that when their report cards come in, that they're doing well. And if not, we sit down and talk to them. And these English classes that we're going to start next year, thanks to our donors, those also help, because they're going to be every Saturday, and the kids can take English classes, which I also think will be very helpful down the road. And we're already seeing an impact. Actually, my sponsored child, her name is Patience, and she's 14 years old, and she couldn't, her grandma couldn't pay for school because that's her guardian. And if we didn't put her in school, some of these girls end up getting pregnant because they're not in school, and then there's this cycle that they enter. And she's doing so well in school, and she's so happy. And last time we checked her, last term, we checked her report card, and it was getting better, and she's doing well. And so we already see a difference. Obviously, it's a small difference, but one child at a time is more than amazing for me. So I think slowly but surely, and we'll continue to work to make sure that we can build a sustainable future for especially the children, but also just the community in general.
All right, thank you. That was perfect. I like the fact that there was a specific child that you've seen or you've registered the impact of your program on their lives, especially in the lives of education. We're coming towards the end of the interview or the session. What do you think are your most ambitious goals for Footprints, or your organization, and how the center could be a partner in contributing to helping you achieve those goals through fundraising or any other form of support?
We have big goals, and I know these are probably a few years down the road or whatnot, but we also have sustainable goals that, could be next year. Like, for example, one of my big goals is to start an English program next year for the kids every Saturday. That's very important to me. And to the board, we think the director of operations in Uganda, he said these kids really need these English classes. And it's something big for us, because this would be a monthly donation that we would have to send out. So it's not something where we're doing an outreach and it's once and then done. It's something we're going to have to sustain throughout the months. And, that's kind of nerve-wracking, because that means I have to stay on top of it and make sure donations are coming in. But, we'll keep working towards that. But that's one of our goals, and it's next year. And, I'm very excited for that. And I think, like, speaking long term, and our longer goal is I would really love to build a school for these kids, and put a school in this village, because there's so many kids that we could fill up a school. And I think maybe starting with the English programs on Saturday, slowly but surely, eventually, when we have more donations, we can potentially actually have a school, which I think, that is our long-term goal. And, I'm positive that with, these amazing donors that we have and that care so much, we will be able to do that down the road. And as per, the audience, listening, and I just think by, donating, obviously is very important to our campaign, like to our programs, such as, the Well Project, or an outreach project, which is we sent each month around $100, and we call it the $100 project. And we either take pads or soccer balls or toothpastes, and then we teach about hygiene and whatnot. So there's so many things that somebody can donate to. And that could be catered to what the person wants to donate to, like women's and girls education. If you're you're strong, you feel strongly about that. Or we actually started a soccer team, so you could donate to our soccer team. So there's so many different programs that people can donate to. Also volunteering time. We need it's me. I have a board, and then I have some volunteers, but I do most of the hard work. And we need help. So we need help if people want to volunteer in Uganda or even remote. There's always volunteer opportunities, and we really do need help. The more manpower, the more that we can make an impact in Uganda. And then just sharing our mission, social media, and raising awareness, on social media to raise awareness. Nowadays, everything is on social media. That's how we communicate. That's how we see everything. So if people could really help us raise awareness and just kind of, share who we are, that would be amazing, because then it gets to more ears. And also, awareness is so important. So people know what's going on, and they know who we are. And then, just raising awareness to me is also very important. Every form of support makes a tremendous difference and an impact. So how anybody wants to help, that's already, amazing, just by sharing or volunteering or donating money, whatever it is, it makes a difference. It really does make a difference, because all the money goes straight into the programs. And when you volunteer in Uganda or remote, you're volunteering, you're working straight with the programs. So it's very impactful when people, help us out.
Yeah, thank you for that. I do agree in collaboration, especially for common cause. And I've seen how, what with the center, I think, from my understanding of my knowledge or work with the center, we can collaborate in the sense of raising awareness on our media pages. We can maybe invite Footprints of Uganda to workshops or conferences, find a way to better address these issues, and also garner support financially or non-financially. And I think those are the things I think the center, from my experience or from what I've seen the center do, can work with you in that manner. Honestly, we've come to the awkward part. What are your concluding remarks? What do you want to say to the audience? What do you want to say to the center? What do you want to say about Footprints that you've not said that you think it's important?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to share our story of Footprints of Uganda. Together we can leave a lasting impact on the lives of those who need it the most. I think this is a team effort. This is not just me. This is not just me and the board. I think together as a community, as just humanity, we can help each other out. And if you'd like to join our mission, I invite you to please check out our website, footprintsofuganda.org. You can contact us if you want to learn more about Footprints of Uganda and how you get involved. I'm the one that responds on there. If somebody contacts us, I'm the one that responds. So we're like a family, and we need to help out people. And if you're inclined to do that, please reach out, and we can work on something together. But yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for taking time to listen. I know we're all very busy, but thank you for believing in our mission. And I wanted to thank you for having me on this wonderful podcast, and taking time to listen to me and to meet with me. But yeah, overall, just thank you. And I look forward to working with the center. And I look forward to the listeners reaching out and working together as a team to make a difference.
Thank you. Thank you, Isabella, for your time also.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
You have just listened to the Africa Rights Talk podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels, social media platforms such as Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for listening.